Happy New Year, everybody! How's everyone's first week of January going? Wait, is this the first week? I know it's day 7, but it kind of started last week, but was also split between the last few days of December. How should we count this? Let's just say it's the first week because I'm uploading this on the 7th. I always feel like January is the longest month ever, and I don't know why that is. It just seems to last an extra week longer than any other month. How's everyone doing though? Are you cold? Are you having fun? Sticking to your New Year's resolutions? If you can't tell by that very subtle segue, and also the title, the subject of this video is New Year's resolutions. I never do these anymore, I just don't stick to them. But that's my personal goals. I always say things like do more reading or learn a language, and it's just not for me. I'll read like one amazing book and then that's it. Technically that counts as more reading though. One book is better than no books. Anyway, something tells me art resolutions might be a bit more achievable. I actually enjoy doing art and resolutions will give me ideas, especially if I have an art block. I know what you're waiting for though, you want the list, so I won't waste any more of your time. Let's discuss the 10 New Year's art resolutions I've made for myself. I think I only did 2 of these last year. Technically 3 if you count this one, but I haven't posted it yet, so I'll count this as a 2026 entry. They're really fun and it gives you something specific to work on. The reason I did my last one is because nothing on my art to-do list was appealing to me and I didn't really have any other ideas. I hopped on Instagram to see if I could find any other draw this in your styles to enter, and I stumbled upon one and made this in record time. I really enjoyed making it, and I've already discussed in my last video how much I like this piece. So why not do more? If it was so fun and gave me something to work towards, why not enter more? I don't really look for ones that are competitive, I just enter whichever one catches my eye. If I was to set a number goal of how many I'd like to enter, I feel like 12 would be good since that would equate to 1 per month. But that might be a bit too much. I might not find the time, or I might not find that many I'm intrigued by. So let's half it and say 6. Anything more than 6 will be a bonus. Listen, I'm sure I've said this a million times already, but JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is one of, if not my absolute favourite anime ever. I don't do much art for it though, only 2 come to mind to be honest. And I've wanted to do 30 Days of JoJo since 2023. I found an account that was doing it and their art is absolutely gorgeous. I'll insert it here if I remember the account. And I've never stopped thinking about trying it since. But there was always a reason not to. It's too time consuming, my art isn't good enough, I might do a bad job, I might get burnt out, etc, etc. But it's not like I have to do it literally every day for 30 days. It's just making 30 pieces of art, and I don't mean just like 30 is nothing. Hell, my total art count for 2025 was only 40 plus pieces. 30 is a lot, but I think it's doable. I also had an epiphany that just because I do it, it doesn't mean I'm never allowed to do it again. Maybe in 2029 I'll try it again. I'm not banned from attempting this more than once. My answers may change, my art style may change, and I might improve significantly in future and want to redo it. I think the fact that I've been wanting to attempt this for so long is reason enough to add this to my resolutions. The thing about this one is that I know it's doable. 1 per week is not hard, I could easily do it, but there are lots of reasons why I might not. Whether I want to do art depends on my mood, on my plans, on video games. And these sound stupid, but it's true. If I'm in a bad mood, the last thing I want to do is art. I'd rather escape into a video game or a TV show or something. I'm unfortunately still in a place where art isn't an escape for me and I don't find it all that therapeutic. I am a very harsh critic of myself, and if I'm having a week where my confidence might be low, I think making art could be detrimental to my state of mind. I completely lose myself to video games sometimes. Maybe this is relatable, but sometimes when I'm really invested in a game, there's nothing else I want to do. I can spend a whole day, a whole few days, or a week totally invested in a game. It's like Sims. Anyone who plays will know. You get inspired to play, do so non-stop for 3 days, then never touch it again until a few months pass. It's a cycle. And that's how I feel, except I play a lot of different games. I play a lot of gacha games, which are time consuming, and I also like really big story games. Think Zelda, Persona, GTA. I recently started playing FF7 as well as Red Dead Redemption 2 for the first time, and they're not short games either. I'm taking my time with them, but you know what? I'm getting distracted. All of this is to say, I do think this is possible because I know if I challenge myself, I could do one piece per week. If I do 30 days of JoJo, that's over half of the weeks of the year. This is a resolution I know I'll really have to push myself on. Bonus, the art I'm using for this background video is actually my first art of 2026. I finished it on the 4th of January, so I'm sticking to my resolution on this so far. I'll be posting a speed paint of this one, so I'll yap about it more then. You might be thinking, isn't all the art you make art you want to do? And yes, it technically is, but I'm talking specifically things for me. I love making art for my friends. That isn't for me. I do it because I want to, but not for me. If I enter a draw this in your style, that's art I want to do, but not for me. It's more for the person hosting it. I want to do more OC stuff. I want to make self-indulgent things. That's why I learned to draw in the first place. I wanted to draw characters I love in situations I imagine. I want to bring my ideas to life of my own characters, like my Willa piece I did last year. I really don't do as much for myself as I would like to, so that's certainly something else I'd like to work on. It might sound easy, but if you watch my last video, you'll know I mentioned that when it came to my character Willa, I was too insecure to draw her myself. And I got so many commissions of her until I took the plunge and did this art myself. And I can't gush about it enough, I already did in my last video. So it was worth attempting myself. I want to have this pay off more. I want to chase the high of what creating this gave me again, with other characters and more Willa. I already have so many things on my to-do list for Willa, so let's see if I stick to this one. Last year, I drew an animal for the first time ever. For context, the reason I wanted to do this is because Willa has a cat called Cosette. I also love this stock image of this anxious cat. I use it as a reaction image constantly, so I wanted to combine the two. And the result was this. It's not great. Dare I say it's bad? I mean, it probably could have been worse, and for a first attempt it's probably okay. I just winged it, to be honest. I have no idea how to draw fur or... who am I kidding? I don't know how to draw animals, period. And that's fine. But I'd like to. I could say, my resolution is to learn how to draw animals. But I don't know if you knew this, guys, but there are a lot of animals. Crazy, right? Would I learn how to draw them all? Probably not. So I want to focus on one that I know by literal evidence I simply cannot draw. I'd like to welcome in 2027 with the knowledge that I can confidently make art of cats. I don't even know where I'd start learning how to draw a cat, but watch this space. Listen, I'm gonna be honest, I don't see this one happening. That's a bad attitude to have, I know, but God, you have no idea how much I hate backgrounds. I just can't do it. There's too much to learn. However, my actual resolution is to put time aside into learning how to draw backgrounds. I don't need to master them, but the deal I need to make with myself is I actually put some effort into studying. I think that is achievable, and maybe I will master backgrounds before the year is out. I said maybe. I'm in a place where I think backgrounds will elude me forever, but to be honest, I thought the same about people, and I have improved drastically over the years. Anything could happen. I know if I put the effort in, I could definitely improve backgrounds. But this is not about being an expert. It's not even about making one semi-good background. It's simply about learning, and I know I can learn new things. This one might sound weird, but hear me out. I've said before, I am so hard on myself. I'm my own worst enemy, and I'm a horrible critic to myself. So, why is that? Because I never want to make art that's bad. I never want to make something that someone might look at and make fun of me. I'm scared to fail. I'm scared to be judged harshly by others, and I think it holds me back. To rectify this, I want to do something I never do. I want to draw bad on purpose. I want to make silly art that might look like shit. I want to embrace failure. As I'm saying the words, I can feel my body tensing up. I can feel my brain working overtime and trying desperately to think of how we can do this and make it look appealing. No, I don't want my purposefully bad pieces to be appealing. I want them to be so bad it makes my toes curl. I want to look and wince and be repulsed. But I also want to laugh. I want to look at the things I've made and see the joy and humour in it. What's so wrong with failure anyway? There is such a shame around it and it sucks. I don't want to speak on anyone else's behalf, but I feel like social media and putting yourself out there is harder than ever because there's a chance someone may be cruel about something you've worked hard on. It's hard to exist when you aren't allowed to fail. It's hard to take up space when nothing less than perfection is expected of you. I'm tired of it, to be honest, and I'm not indulging in it anymore. I will be making hideous art, and maybe I'll share it and we can all laugh together. Maybe it'll give others the confidence to do the same. Make bad art on purpose with me. I'm scared, but I'm just going to do it scared. I've wanted to do this for so long, and I can extend this and say I'd like to make more videos in general because I've not made as much as I would have liked. But I have a friend and we're going to call him Himbo. He's my best friend and we always talk about making some videos together. He doesn't make videos himself and he's not an artist, but I just think that'll add to the fun. We've discussed ideas and yeah, that's all I'll say for now, not spoil what we have planned, but expect Himbo to make some appearances here this year. What even is colour theory? Let me look it up because I genuinely don't know how to describe it. I just quickly googled and this came up and it caught my eye because the title of the article is called Colour Theory, an Idiot's Guide. Wow, thank you, that's me. I'm the idiot who needs guidance. I'm going to read this in depth when I'm ready to study for real because it sounds quite helpful. I'll link it below for anyone else who'd like to read it too. Anyway, I just don't understand it. I mean, I kind of do. Sometimes if I do a pink background and colour in skin and then turn the background back to white, the skin tone is more pinkish than my usual orange. It's not pink, but it's not orange either is what I mean. And also doesn't make sense. See? Idiot who needs guidance. Let me record what I mean, hang on. So I get that this is colour theory, but I don't get why, or how, or when, where, what, who. I just don't get it. Simple as. Maybe it's simpler than I'm expecting and I'm just overthinking and making it seem scarier than it actually is. But I won't know until the studying begins. But I'm more excited to study this than backgrounds. Ugh, backgrounds just suck. I'm going to do this a little differently. I'm going to try and explain what art composition is in my own words without looking it up, and then see how close I am to being right. So, to my knowledge, it's just how things are organised. I think it's how you place certain things that maybe do this in a way to draw your viewer's eye to a specific part of the piece. For an example, maybe a person in a background. You wouldn't want the background to be the centrepiece, you'd want the person to be. So maybe you'd put the person in the centre and then make them the largest thing in the piece, and then arrange the background in a way that leads the viewer's eye to look at the person. I'm not sure if you can do this with every perspective, but I assume you would. But I think it would work best with something like 5-point perspective. I think that's the right one. The one that looks like a fisheye lens. I think it would be easier to curve a background in a way that leads to a point of focus, like a person. I know the golden ratio is used for this, though I've never attempted to make art with the golden ratio before. Maybe that can be a secret extra resolution to try. Anyway, I think the golden ratio is a thing that maths nerds, art nerds and JoJo fans alike are familiar with. This is the golden ratio if you've never seen it before. Now I'm not a maths girl, but I can tell you for sure that I know the aim of this ratio is to lure your eye to a point. Here's an example for the classic art piece, The Great Wave off Kanagawa. We start with a big rectangle that fills the whole piece. I am winging this, by the way, without researching, so I'm probably going to get things wrong and sound a bit silly. But let's refer to this as a snail. So, let's start here at the slug part. It starts at the wave and then leads into the shell, which is also divided into a smaller rectangle. So we know we want this to be the point of focus. The bigger, more imposing wave fills the smaller rectangle, but the shell also curves and follows the direction of the wave. The Great Wave of Kanagawa is actually on my Nintendo Switch. My boyfriend took it apart for me and screwed this on. And when I tell you, I've never actually noticed the boat or the mountain in the background until I looked at this golden ratio version. I've always been so drawn to the wave itself. The beginnings of this shell are perfect against the board. I cannot believe I've legitimately never noticed this. It's not a piece I've studied a lot, to be honest, and the reason I wanted it on my Switch is because Kirishima from My Hero Academia had it on his wall in his dorm room, and I just thought it was so cute. There are probably more examples than I can show of the golden ratio used in art, but it's used for a reason and it's obvious why. I remember watching a YouTube video where an artist used it for the first time. Again, I'll link it if I can find it, but I've always thought about the golden ratio ever since I saw that video, but I've never actually thought about using it myself. But after talking about it and looking at how effective it is again, I kind of want to. I talked longer than I was expecting. After all that, let's see how close I was to describing composition correctly. Composition in art is the way in which different elements of an artwork are combined. In general, this refers to the key subjects of the artwork and how they are arranged in relation to each other. I definitely talk too much. I quickly skimmed the rest of this article to see what else was said, and it kind of made it sound like there's no right answer when it comes to composition. Some people might make art that draws your eye to several elements in a piece, whereas others might think good composition leads your eye to one central feature. So, do I get a point? Did I get it right? Who knows, but what I do know is that I'd like to improve my own art composition this year. I'd like to find out what good composition is to me. So, what did you think of my resolutions? Any you're interested in yourself? Feel free to take inspiration, or if you have different ideas, tell me, I'd love to hear them. Let's motivate each other to keep on course with our 2026 goals. Thanks for watching as always. If you stayed this long and enjoyed, consider leaving a like and subscribing as it will help me out a lot, and it means you'll get more videos like this one. Wouldn't that be cool? I hope you are all having a lovely new year so far, and if you have any resolutions of your own, artsy or otherwise, feel free to leave them in a comment down below. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye! Hiding both face and mind, all free for you to draw. I'm a sharpshooter, what else should I be?